In this video, we're going to actually walk through some ideas and kind of a process for planning meals for a camp out. Now, when it comes to planning the meals, you really should get together with the group that you're going with and figure out how many people are going, the size, and kind of what is going to be required, what's available for cooking, for prepping your meals, what you're going to choose for car camping when you're going to a campground where you're going to be able to have all of your equipment available to you is going to be a little bit different than what you plan for backpacking. With backpacking, quite often you're going to be planning just for yourself. You might be coordinating with one or two other people so you can figure out what gear you need to take so you're not duplicating gear, that you don't have too much equipment for you with backpacking. But for the most part, a lot of the meals are planned individually. I have seen some where they do a bigger meal and then each person either prepares part of the meal or brings ingredients for part of the meal and someone else is bringing other ingredients. But normally when we're doing that type of planning, you're on your own. Now, for a car camping type trip where you've got all of your equipment, it really opens up the possibilities of what you can plan for a meal. So that's what I'm going to actually take a look at in this video, is planning meals for a car camping type camp out. So the first thing that you do need to figure out is where you're going, how long you're going to be gone. And I'm going to plan for a 2 overnight, which is what we often do. So what we normally do is we arrive on Friday night. The plan is that you would have your food already eaten or bring with you what you're going to eat Friday night. So we usually don't plan that as a group. Everyone's just kind of arriving. We might do that differently if we're traveling somewhere. But in most cases, if we're going to one of our local camping sites, we're going to plan that you're going to be eating on your own on Friday night. So that means you need to plan then for Saturday, which means you're going to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then on Sunday when we're leaving, sometimes the troop, the adult leaders, will plan what the breakfast is and have something ready for breakfast. In other cases, we'll tell you that you're patrol or you need to prepare for breakfast. In either case, you just need to figure out what food you need to bring. I think the biggest thing that I usually see people running into with issues is, what am I going to make? They don't even have ideas on food. And that may even happen at home. You know, you're in the house, you're going, okay, what do we want for dinner tonight? And no one can come up with ideas. You're all hungry, but actually coming up with an idea is the hard part. Or when you're planning meals for the week, what are we going to have for dinner this week? And no one comes up with ideas. We all know we're going to be hungry. We're all going to want to eat, but it's a matter of what is going to be the meal. So what you can actually do is use Google, make Google your friend. So I've already done that here. I've done a search for Boy Scout camp out meal ideas, and there's all kinds of different links here that you can follow. I just grabbed this first one here, 20 camping recipes you learned in Boy Scouts. I don't know if this is the best list. I went through here and yeah, I recognize some of these. Others not so much. Might be more involved. You know, I'm looking here with this with the ice cream scoop on it. I don't know as I want to try and manage keeping ice cream cold on my trip. So you just want to be cognizant, be thinking about what's going to be there and how much work you want to be involved as well. But doing the Google search at least gets you some ideas. It gives you something that you can work with, that you can adjust. What you want to do then is go through and pick the recipes. And I've already gone through and I've picked a couple just to give you an idea of kind of the next steps. So once you figure out what your meals are going to be, once everyone is kind of decided on the meals, I've used Excel. You could use Google Sheets, but you want to start tracking what's going to be involved as far as the shopping and then the cost. So we usually try to figure about $3 per scout per meal. So if we can stay in the $9 to $10 range for each scout for a meal, that really works out well with budget. So somewhere in the ballpark of $30 a day. Actually, a little bit less than that. Per day, I'm sorry, around $10 a day for food. So what we're going to do is come in here. Now, what I've done is for my spreadsheet is I've come in and I've put the number of scouts that are going to be there. How many people? I'm going to actually change this number to 10. So I'm going to say that we're going to have about 10 scouts that are going to be on this meal planning. Excuse me. So I'm going to come in here, and the first one I did is just really easy. It's just hamburgers. So how much ground beef are we going to need? If you figure that you need quarter-pound burgers and you have 10 people, I originally had 6, so I was going to do 2 pounds of beef. But if I've got 10 and a quarter pound of beef, that means I'm going to need at least 2 pounds is going to give me 8. So I'm going to need 2.5 pounds. I'm going to just go ahead and up this to 3 pounds. And I've got some formulas calculated in here. So how I got my pricing, and I'm going to go back to that, is I just went over to the Meijer website and I just did a search for ground beef. And when I did my search for ground beef, it came up and I got a bunch of different results here. I've got the 90-10, that's going to be some really lean meat. Meijer 80-20 is $4.61 a package, $4.19 a pound, but it's not real accurate on the pounds. I really like these packages here that are in a tube for multiple reasons. One, it's usually right at a pound of beef. 2, they package really well, so they're real easy to carry. These packages can leak, they get bent, they crack, the plastic wrap on them, and they're just they're awkward shapes. So I really like these for camping, and these are $3.19 each. So back on my spreadsheet, I came over here, $3.19, I have my quantity, and then I just use a formula on this to calculate it. So I just multiply the price times the quantity, and it's going to cost me $9.57. And then my cost per scout, all I did is I divided that. So this number up here, this 10, it's actually dividing the total cost by the number of scouts. So that's how much it's costing me to feed the scout. That's how much beef they're going to have. Now, if you're thinking that you're going to be really hungry, you want to increase that number, you can always say go ahead and do 4 pounds of beef, and we can plug that number in. We may want to adjust this when we get done and we see the final cost per scout, but we'll take a look at that. For our buns, they usually come in an 8 count. I searched for those as well. Those came up for $1. Because I increased my number of scouts, I need to increase that to 2. So that increased there. Pickles, I just got a jar of the oval pickles that you're going to put on the burgers. We probably still only need 1 jar. We still only need 1 thing of ketchup. Onion, we probably just need 1 onion. And then the cheese slices, I just got 1 of these. But let's say that we need 2 of those just to make sure that we've got enough cheese. So we'll go ahead and increase that. And then what you want to do here is make sure that you update this with any other ingredients that others might want. So if someone wants lettuce on their burgers and you think that you want to put that in there, you could add lettuce. Again, anything on your shopping list. Maybe with this meal you want to have chips, so you add a bag of chips in here. Make sure that you're thinking about the whole meal, and make sure that you get everything in there. Right now, my total cost is $23.17 for this meal, and my cost per scout is only $2.32. So if I was targeting $3 to $4, I'm well within my target range here, so I could add more stuff in here. But this would also give you room to do a dessert. So if this is your dinner and you want a dessert with your dinner, you can go ahead and put that in there as well. I did a similar thing. I did a breakfast hash. I did a pound of butter. That was the smallest package that I could find on there. It's 4 sticks of butter. If you're going to do other recipes where you're cooking stuff and you need butter, you'll have it on hand. But here's your cost. I mean, it only 89 cents. I'm not too worried about having extra, but keep that in mind that you're probably going to have extra on some items. 30 ounces of shredded hash browns. I got two packages of those, which still should be enough for 10 scouts. Breakfast sausage. I got one package of that. And there's the price, $3.29. I'm throwing an onion in there. I'm throwing a green pepper in there. We got a dozen eggs and 8 ounces of shredded cheese. Because I updated from 6 to 10, let's say that I want to increase some of this. So I actually want to do 2 packages of the breakfast sausage. 1 green pepper I think is still going to be enough. Let's say that I want to up that to 2 dozen eggs. Again, all of my formulas are automatically adjusting, and I'm going to get 2 packages of the 8 ounces of shredded cheese. Now, because I did that, if I'm starting to think that I'm going to do more, what I might want to do instead is I'm going to go back out here to my website, and I'm just going to do the shredded cheese. And now, instead of doing the 2 packages of 8 ounces of shredded cheese, I may want to just go ahead and get a 16-ounce package of cheese. So I can find where I've got a 16-ounce package of cheese. This Colby Jack looks good, so that's $3.89. So I'll go back over to my spreadsheet. Instead of $1.99, I'm going to take this and I'm going to do $3.89. But again, now I only need 1 package of that, and it's going to be $17.68, and it's going to be $1.77. Now, one thing that you might do, I know that I have a tendency to do this when I'm working on these things, is I forget about the extras. So this is great. This is the main meal. But what if you want to have beverages in here? So what I might want to do here is insert. And if I insert in the middle of this, I know it kind of breaks up the recipe, but it helps keep my formulas straight. I could adjust my formulas, but it's just easier to do it this way. I might want to get some orange juice to have with this. So I'm going to go ahead and put in orange juice in here. So let's go ahead and go back here and take a look. And let's see what we can get for orange juice. And I'm going to do that search. And I've got a couple different options for orange juice. And I can decide what type of orange juice I want to get depending on how many people are going to be drinking it. Let's say that I decide for 10 people I want to get a gallon of orange juice. So that's $3.99 there. I'm going to come back to my spreadsheet, and I'm going to say that orange juice is $3.99. And I'm going to go ahead and put in here that this is 1 gallon, just so that we know when we go to do the shopping. We only need 1 of those. And now because of the way that I inserted it, it automatically put the formula in there, and it's $3.99 and it's 40 cents per scout. So now I'm at $2.17 per scout. I'm still keeping that underneath that $3. It's really helping with the budget, but it gives me room then for a bigger meal. So then if I plan to do something bigger for dinner, then I can. So let's go ahead and go back to our camping recipes here. And I know that I put in on my spreadsheet quesadilla here, but let's take a look at these potato sausage foil packs. So I'm going to go ahead and change this here, and I'm going to do potato sausage foil pack. And now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put in what I need. Now, if you already know what's in your camp your patrol box for cooking as far as all of the gear. If you already know that you have tinfoil in there, then you don't need to worry about getting that. If you don't have tinfoil, that might be something that you need to add to your shopping list, even though it's not on the list here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start putting stuff into this spreadsheet so that you can see how it's done. So I need a green pepper. Now I've already included that in another recipe. So I'm going to come here and that's 67 cents. So I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to say, well, that's 67 cents. And I only need one of those. And this is going to make 4 servings for 1 green pepper. So if I'm going to be doing this for 10 and I want extra, we need to go 3 times the size of this. So instead of 1, I'm going to need 3. And just so you can see how these formulas are done, I'm going to go ahead and calculate that in here. I'm going to say that this is equal to the price, and I'm going to multiply that by the quantity, and that's going to tell me that it's going to be $2. Now I need to calculate how much per scout, and I'm going to say that that is equal to this divided by, and then we're going to do the number of scouts. And I'm going to do a little trick here. On Microsoft Excel, you can press the F4 key, and you'll get these dollar signs in here. That's going to make sure that when I do what they call a fill, which I'm going to do in a little bit, that you don't have to adjust this. It'll make more sense here in a little bit. So I'll get to that. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that. So that's showing me that the green pepper is going to be 20 cents per scout. I'm going to come back here, and it wants to do a sweet red pepper. So we're going to go to our Meyer search here, and I'm going to do a red bell pepper. And it's going to tell me that they are 2 for $3 right now. So that's going to be $1.50 each. So I'm going to go red pepper, and that's going to be $1.50, and we need 3 of those as well. Now, when I was talking about the fill, if I select these, I get this little tiny square here. If I grab and I pull that down, that's going to adjust the formula. By putting those dollar signs in there, it made sure that it stayed on B1, but it did move this one down to row E24 for the calculation. So that's just the fill feature. That's how it works in Excel. If you use something like Google Sheets, I believe that the formula is slightly different, but the dollar signs usually works. You may have to figure out a little bit different on Google Sheets. So that's going to be my formula there. And now I'm seeing that that's costing 45 cents. Let's go back to our recipe here, and we need a yellow pepper. So let's see how much the yellow peppers are. So there's my yellow pepper. Those are also 2 for $3. So we'll go ahead and say that we need a yellow pepper. And we're going to say that those are also $1.50. And we also need 3 of those. So let's go back to our recipe. We need smoked turkey kielbasa. So I'm going to do smoked turkey kielbasa. And I'm just going to copy that to make that. So I'm going to do a search for smoked turkey kielbasa. And how much did that say? About 14 ounces. So let's see what we have on here. That's 13 ounces, so that's fine. It's close enough on the recipe. So those are $2.59 each. So I'm going to go ahead and do smoked turkey kielbasa and $2.59. And again, we need 3 of those packages. So we'll put that in there. And I think we needed, let's go back here. It wants 2 large potatoes. So we're going to go back to our spreadsheet, and we're going to do potatoes. And we're going to need at least 6 of those. So let's see what we end up on with the potatoes. So I'm going to do a search here for potatoes. And we actually have a 5-pound bag here. We have a 3-pound bag. You can actually get where they're 35 cents each. So if I do 35 cents each, so if I go here and I say on my spreadsheet that I needed 6 of those at 35 cents, Let's go ahead and fill these down so I can see the numbers. So at 35 cents each for 6 of those, it's going to be $2.10. But if I actually got this 3-pound bag, which would give me some extra if I need it, that's going to be $2.99 a bag. So I'm probably going to get that instead. So on my thing here, I'm going to go potatoes. I'm just going to do 3 pounds. And instead of 6, I just need 1 of those because we're getting a 3-pound bag. And then the cost on that was $2.99. And that's going to give me my formula there. And now let's go back to the recipe. We need an onion. And I'm going to go ahead and put an onion on my spreadsheet. And again, I'm already getting 1 up here, so I know that they are 87 cents. And we just need, actually, let's get 3 of those as well. 261. And now I'm going to do my totals here. I know that there were some other items on the list, but I don't want to spend all that time going into it. So I'm just going to go ahead and calculate the sum here. And it's going to be $24.38. And I'm at $2.44 per scout. So this shows you how to go through, how to do all of the math and the calculation. Now what we've actually done here is we've created our shopping list. So we know what ingredients we need to get, but what you're going to want to do is go through here and kind of organize this a little bit. It just makes your life easier. So like when you have onion here, and we have onion here, and we have onion here, when you're putting your shopping list together and you're finalizing that, what you want to go through and you want to actually put onion, and that you need 1, 2, and then 3 more. That's 5. So you need 5 onion. Go over and see if there's any other overlap. So we have an overlap on green peppers here. So make sure that you're counting all of that in, and then you put that shopping list together. And then what you have to do then is plan your shopping. Who then is going to go to the store? Who's actually going to be doing the shopping? And there may be some adjustments in this when you're at the store. Maybe they don't have those little tubes of beef, so you do have to get the packages. Maybe they have a bigger tube. So here we're getting a 1 pound of ground beef, and we're getting 4 of those. But let's go back here and do a search for ground beef. And when I do that, here's the 1 pound. But if I go ahead and look further, here is a 3-pound package for $8.99. So now I can actually get a bigger package of the same meat for a lower price. So here's $8.99 for 3 pounds. This was $3.19 for 1 pound. So $3.19, multiply that times 3, you're over $9. $9 and just shy of 60 cents. Much better to get the 3-pound pack. So keep those types of things in mind too, because if we are trying to stay within that budget, one, if you are lower, it helps out the troop. But the other thing that you could do is add some extra things into the meal. So maybe if you're looking at your meal planning and we've done just the hamburgers, that now gives us some money, because if we change this from $3.19 to what did I say, $3.89 on that? No, $8.99. So if I do my $8.99, and now I only need 1 of those, that's going to reduce my cost here to $1.94, and I can add some other items in here. Maybe I want to come back here and say, you know what? Potato salad sounds really good. I'm going to add in some potato salad. And you can actually get some prepared potato salad. Here's buy 2 for $4 for potato salad for a pound. Probably for 2 of those you could get that. So that'd be $8. That's less than $1 per scout. And if we go back to our spreadsheet, that would still keep us under the cost. Or you could look at making potato salad. A little bit more work, more involved, but you could do that, and that would be cheaper too. Remember, you're getting a whole bag of potatoes down here that you may not need, or you could, you don't need all of these potatoes. Maybe you could get a bigger bag. It's still going to be fairly inexpensive, and then you could get the ingredients and make a potato salad or do something else with these potatoes that you could add into another meal. So that's all the type of stuff that we're expecting you to do when you're doing your meal planning. One is come up with the menu. So what I have here is actually a pretty good menu. If you do your breakfast hash for breakfast, you do hamburgers, and then you do these potato sausage foil packs for dinner. And I know I skipped some items on this recipe here, but if I do a real quick total down here and say that this is equal to my lunch cost plus my breakfast cost plus my dinner cost here, if these are my three meals, I'm going to be $65 for all of Saturday, and at $6.55 per scout, if this is the only thing that I was doing. And if we're trying to stay under $10 per scout, that's actually $3.45 less, and that's some other stuff that we could budget back in. So these are the things that you really need to do when you're planning your meals. I know that I've seen in the past where the scouts will show up at Meijer, and whichever scouts, they start throwing out some random ideas for meals. We write those down, and then we end up going and we shop and we pull those ideas. And sometimes going by the shelf, someone says, "Oh, what about this? Can we add this in?" And we end up throwing some of that in the cart. It's much better if we can actually get these meals planned out. So then you've got a better idea of what it's going to cost you, but you've actually thought through it. And you've got the time to sit here and think, okay, well, I want some potato chips, and it's within my budget. So I'm going to go ahead and, just insert a row here, and I'm going to say chips. And we can go back here and say, you know what, we want to get some potato chips. And then I can look and I can see the different types of chips that are available, and I can choose what kind I want, and I can add those in. So we can go in and say, well, I want to get some barbecue potato chips. Well, here's the barbecue chips. That's a 7-ounce. Here's a family size right now. Here's lightly salted, Better Made. And they've got different flavors here. Looks like they're all 2 for $5. If we get 2 bags of chips for $5, so if I come back here and I say that the chips were, and what were those? 2 for $5. So let's say that they were $2.50 each, and I want to get 2 bags of them, and that fills up my formula. Still there, I am still at a very reasonable price for that Campout. So again, do your planning. Make sure that you've got everything organized before you go to the store. This also helps for the scouts that can't make it to the store. Not all the scouts can get in and do the shopping. So make sure that you have that planned in there as well. So that's kind of what I had for you today. Just kind of wanted to run through that whole planning process so it's all laid out for everybody. Until I put together another video for you guys, have a great day, and we'll catch up with you later.